Kaymade-tech here. So today we'll be looking at a video on step-by-step guide bind shell on Linux with Msfvenom and Metasploit. A bind shell is a type of shell that binds to a specific port on the target machine and listens for incoming connection. Once an attacker connects to that port, they gain command line access on the target system. The bind shell requires the attacker to actively connect to the target's listening port. So what are we going to use? We're going to be using our Parrot operating system and our Metasploitable operating system. And we're going to be using the Msfvenom and the Metasploitable for a bind shell. Metasploitable, right? So MSF Venom is used to generate the payload. That's the malicious executable that is set up in the bind shell. The payload listens on a specific port for a connection. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do that. The next thing we're going to do, once we have created the payload and moved it into the target machine, we're going to go to the attacking machine now and go to Metasploit. And we're going to use multi-handler module, which is used to connect to the bind shell. It serves as the attacker's client to establish communication with the target system. How does this work? So the steps are just generate the payload. That's the attacker creates the payload from the attacker's machine, then sends it to the victim machine. Deploy the payloads, that's by transferring and connect to the bind shell by using Metasploit. So this is where it's very interesting for both the blue team and the red teams. To prevent that's mitigations to prevent the bind shell from being established on a system. Focus on hardening the system, monitoring network activities, and restricting unnecessary services. And how do we detect this? We'll use what we call NetStart. It checks for suspicious listening ports, and the command you use is netstart -tulnp. All right, without further ado, I will go ahead and pull up my Metasploitable VM just to confirm our IP address, ifconfig. So it says 192.168.57.122. Then I go to my Parrot. So I'll do the same thing, IP. So the address here is 192.168.56.145. So you will notice something very interesting here. They are both on different subnets based on their IP addresses. This is um, .56, and if you let me pull up my Metasploitable, you can see there is .57, 192.168.57.122. So this is being connected because there are two subnets. Is being connected with our pfSense firewall. All right, now that I have explained that, so let's go to creating the let's create this. The first thing we need to do is to create what we call the bind shell. First step is to run msfvenom -p x86 meta bind p. So it needs our local port. So the local port we'll be using for the listening is we're going to type local port, which is port. So let's use 666. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 6, 6, 6 -f. Type of file we are using, that's the ELF file, and we'll give it a name, loaf.elf. It's going to create that file now. Awesome. So it's created a file. So it's a payload size is 111 byte. and the final size of the LF file is 195. So now that we have created that, we could just verify. So just loaf.elf. So it tells us it's, yeah, Miss executable. It's a 32-bit loaf. Okay, so what's the next step? We need to move this to the victim machine or the target machine. How do we do that? We're going to use FTP. In my previous video, I did show you how to connect by FTP. So if you are lost, if you need a refresher, you can go to my previous videos and search for FTP connection. All right, so the next thing we need to put the username msfadmin and the IP address 192.168.57.122. It's going to ask for a password. All right, sfadmin. So now we are India. So let's do ls. So these are the files India. So let's do put loaf.elf. This has been transferred. And if you look here, the final size up here says 195. So the final size here is 195. So that's 100%. If this size differs from this, then it didn't transfer completely. All right. So now that we have that, we can do ls now, just to confirm that it's there. And that's it here. It wasn't there before. So we are done with the transfer. Okay. So let's exit this. So the next step is we need to give permissions to that file. Okay. So we're going to need to we're going to go through SSH. Also, in my previous video, I did, on my videos, I did show you a video regarding SSH connections. So let's type in SSH, username, msfadmin, the IP address. Going to request for a password. msfadmin. Awesome. So all we just need to do is change mode. Oof. Okay, let's do this. ls. I just want to look at the permissions we have currently. That's dash rw, sorry, dash rw dash r dash dash r. Okay, so we're going to do the permissions now, and you will see the new permissions. ls. All right, as you can see now, it's now dash rwxr dash xr dash x. Okay, so we're done with that. We're done with that. So the next step now is to go to our Metasploit. So we're going to type ms console. So wait for that to come up. So all right. So for the purpose of this, I said in my introduction, I said we're going to be using exploit multi-handler. So we're going to type in use exploit multi-handler. All right. So as you can see, the exploit multi-handler does have a payload, but that's not the payload we want to use. We're going to set our payload. Set payload Linux ctc meta bind p. All right. So we have set the payload. Let's set our local port. I think I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Set local host 192.168.56.145. Then set remote host 192.168.57.122. All right, so let's exploit. Oops. Give me a second. So we'll go back to this. So now that we have changed that, so we'll run this oof dot lf. Once we run this, we'll now go back to our Metasploit table, type in run. Right? So it's coming up. Hey, we now have a shell. As you can see, it says home MSF admin. So what we can do, let's type pwd. So that's what we have. Let's do ls. So the files. So we do have our loaf.elf. All right. Now that we have that, what else can we do? We can do, we can run ifconfig to confirm we're in the right place. So this is the IP address, 192.168.57. The net mask, the MAC address, what else can we do here? Let's go into shell. Ooh, I. It says I am MSF admin ID. This was the ID we have there. Let's exit this. All right, so list. Okay, let's go into the vulnerable. So let's go to CD for array ls, and we can download a file here. So you see, you can do so many things when we use the bind shell, and that's why we need to be extremely careful. We need to monitor that nobody's listening. You understand? So let me download this. Just go here, go back here, ls here. So you see all the files here, right? So I'm going to go back to download. Should I download Samba or I download TikiWiki? As you can see, none of them here, either Samba or TikiWiki. So let me just download TikiWiki. TikiWiki. So this is very dangerous. That means somebody can have through a bind shell can take out files from your computer. So that's the more reason why you cannot allow this happen. We need to monitor our network. We need to do all patch our harden our system, patch up, disable unnecessary services. All right, this is almost done. All right, so this is complete. Let's go out of here. All right, and let's see background. All right, so in a situation where if we want to come back, we can go to background like I've done here. So I'm no longer in that interpreter. But if I do want to come back, all I'll just do is sessions. And I'm back. All right, this is where this video will end. Again, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. And if you could please like if you have not, share if you've not, and also subscribe. Thank you and see you in our next video. Kaymade-tech.